One of the biggest complaints I get in regards to the cost of living in the greater Lansing, Michigan area are the high property taxes. In fact, Lansing, did you know, is in the top 20 nationwide for highest property taxes. The top 20. So in this video, I'm going to be talking with you about the different municipalities in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. I'm going to be ranking them from least expensive to the most expensive, and be sure to stay tuned until the end because I'm going to be talking with you about what the future property taxes could look like in the next couple years. So let's get started with this next episode of Lansing, Michigan Life right now. Hey everybody, Troy Seifert here with the Capital Area Real Estate Specialist in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. I'm a top producing realtor in the greater Lansing, Michigan area, and I get phone calls all the time from people who are just like you watching this channel. People who are from the West Coast, East Coast, down south, up north, even from all around the world. I get phone calls from people who are looking to potentially relocate to the greater Lansing, Michigan area. So whether you're looking to move here in 9 days, 90 days, or 9 months from now, I would love to be able to talk with you about what your real estate goals are. So feel free to call me, text me, email me, schedule a Zoom with me. All my contact information, it's in the description below. And I am never too busy to answer a phone call, a text, an email. Please reach out at any time. And also, if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel so you can be notified when a new episode of Lansing, Michigan Life goes live. And also, if you like the content of this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up or a like. So let's get into a fun subject, real estate property taxes. I mean, in all honesty, like this is such an important video. I feel it's one of the most important videos that you need to watch. And the reason I say that is because it's sticker shock for some people. Like I feel like watching my auto insurance video is an important video so you have an idea of how much auto insurance is because it is quite expensive. I want people to get an idea of how expensive the property taxes are around here because compared to many areas across the country, they are more expensive and it can be sticker shock. And I have this conversation all the time with people who are not familiar with our area. And more times than not, they are surprised with how high the property taxes are. So before I get into the ranking system of the property taxes, I just want to explain to you how the Michigan property taxes work. So you might be, if you search the internet, you might read about a law that says, well, Michigan property taxes can only go up 5% per year. That is correct. However, there is one exception, and that is when you purchase a home. Because when you purchase a home, there is no cap to what that taxable value could go to on what you would have to pay for your property taxes. So you could have a property, for instance, that has never been on the market for 40 years, and the taxable value hasn't necessarily caught up with what the value of the home is, so the property taxes are super cheap. You see the property taxes, hey, these property taxes aren't that bad, and then you never realize that, hey, when you own the home the following year, you find your tax bills might have gone up a significant amount. For some people, they double. Because in Michigan, you can take the purchase price of a home when someone buys it, and then you can raise that taxable value to meet what that purchase price would be. So let me give you a formula that might be helpful for you as you're doing the math of what property taxes could be, okay? So what you will do is like when you see a purchase price of what you're going to purchase for a home, you'll take that purchase price, you'll divide it by 2. And what will happen is you will come up with this, a township would come up with as a standard equalized value or the SEV. And again, when you look on Zillow ahead of time, that SEV is going to be off. It's going to be way less than what that purchase price is more times than not. Then what happens is usually you have a separate category that's the taxable value. At that time when you purchase the house, the taxable value is even with the standard equalized value. Sometimes when you're looking on Zillow, you see that there's a standard equalized value and there's a taxable value. And the taxable value a lot of times is less than the standard equalized value. Why? Because standard equalized value can appreciate quite a bit, but the taxable value can only go up 5% due to that cap rate, right? So if home prices have been going up the last 5 years and they continue to increase 10, 20%, that SEV value might go up, but that taxable value will only go up 5% and you'll start seeing a larger gap as the years go on. That's what we find ourselves in right now. So the only time that the SEV value will match the taxable value is when you purchase the home. And like I said before, 9 times out of 10, that SEV value will not line up with what the purchase price is of the home when you initially buy it. So you have to count that stuff in. So before I get into all my data, all my stats, I wanna be sure that I just kind of explain some things to you about why I came up with this data and some things to keep in mind as I'm calculating these taxes. The first thing is that in each and every area, I found the average purchase price. So all my computations are based upon an average purchase price in that area. This number will look different to you if you buy a home that's more expensive than the average purchase price or less expensive. because your taxes will go down if they're less expensive, and they'll be more expensive if you buy a home that's higher. Math, right? Who would have thought? The second thing I want you to be aware of is that some municipalities in our area, known as a taxing authority in Michigan, some of them are really hardcore when it comes to following this rule of matching the taxable value with the standard equalized value and having no cap. Some of them will do it. So I'm giving you the worst case scenario. Some of them, they're not as with it. They might take an average, okay? And again, that's according to getting with a local expert who might be able to tell you, hey, watch out for this township. They're known for doing this. The other tip I will give you is that a lot of times I find that municipalities that are in more rural areas might not be as with it when it comes to taking that taxable value and just making it jump up so that your taxes go up higher. So again, something to keep in mind there. The other thing I want you to be aware of, if this is going to be a second home for you, a vacation home, you're looking to maybe come here to visit, but you might use it as an Airbnb, or you might use it as an investment property as well, okay? Then you are not going to be eligible for the rate I'm going to tell you. Everything, all my rates are based upon a residential property exemption. In the state of Michigan, you can have one home that's your primary principal place of residence that you can apply a discount, okay? A lot of people don't think of it as a discount. They still think the taxes are high, but as a discount so that you don't have to pay the higher taxes. If you are an investor and you have a second home, just keep in mind the taxes that I give you are gonna go up around another 30%, okay? So the taxes are gonna be even higher for an investment property. Other thing I want you to be aware of, because people have asked me this, like what kind of exemptions does Lansing area provide for property taxes? The one main one I know is if you are a disabled veteran, you might be able to qualify for a property tax exemption. So if you're watching this and you are a disabled veteran, I would definitely look into that. The other thing I want to talk about too is I'm taking the most populated areas in the greater Lansing area. There's some municipalities and taxing authorities that I missed. And that's okay, it's fine. I'm just giving you the main ones. There are some areas in each county that have several townships. Again, there's some of those really rural townships that those taxes might look a lot less. There might be 10, 15, even 20 mil difference from certain areas. And again, the way that you are going to be aware of that is if you get with a local real estate agent like myself, or you even get with a loan officer that's local, because they'll be able to give you an idea of what the millage would look like. Okay, so let me get into the stats, because this is what's going to be important for you. You're looking, throughout the entire area, and what would your taxes look like? The lowest one that I'm going to be sharing with you right now, because I have 11 areas right now. So coming in at number 11 out of the 11 areas that I'm referencing is Bath Township, which has Bath Community Schools. If you're looking at the Bath, Michigan area, it's a smaller rural area, your millage will be around 37 mils, and the average price point is around $355,000. So if I were to do the quick math, and let's say I purchased an average home in Bath, Michigan, which would be the $355,000, I would take that number, divide it by 2, which takes you to $177,500, and then I would times it by the millage. So I am going to calculate the millage here, so the $177,500 times it by the 37 mils. That is going to take me to around just shy of $6,600. That's worst case scenario for you for the entire year. So the annual property taxes, $6,600 in Bath Community Schools, number 11. Number 10 is Dewitt Township in Dewitt Public Schools. It's the northern part of Lansing. We've talked about this, some other videos that I've spoken with. It's an up and coming city that has lots of new construction within it. And the average price point for this, it's $404,000. So I'm gonna take that $404,000 divided by 2, and then I'm gonna times it by the millage, which in Dewitt, it's just above Bath, so it's like 38.2 mils. So the taxes, they are higher, over $7,700, okay? So $7,700. However, your average price point is a lot higher too, at $404,000. Keep that in mind, because you're gonna be hearing some other millage areas that are higher in millage and about the same price point. So coming in at number 9 is St. John's City. St. John's is north of Dewitt, about 15 minutes north, and it's probably about 20 or 25 minutes away from the center of Lansing downtown area. So if you're looking to commute to the state of Michigan or to any of the hospitals, it would be a good 20 to 25 minute drive because you have a lot of uses of highways. So I did St. John's City, and there are going to be some cities in here. The one thing I will tell you in millage is that whenever you use a city as your municipality, like the downtown, closer to the downtown area, those those millages are going to be higher. So keep that in mind. So St. Johns City, this is St. Johns Public Schools. The millage for this is just slightly higher than Dewitt Township at close to 39 mills, but the average price point is $300,000 for a house in the St. Johns area. So take that $300,000, divide it by 2, which takes you to $150,000, times it by the millage, which is just shy of. So in St. Johns City, your tax bill for the year would be around $5,700 for the year. I mean, it's less than what you heard for Dewitt, but Dewitt was at $404,000 for a purchase price. Keep that in mind, okay? Next thing that I'm gonna go up to, number 8, is Delta Township, which has Grand Ledge schools. So why do I bring this up? There's some townships that have different school systems represented. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at a house, that just because, I'm not representing all of Delta Township, and that's why I mean that there's some exceptions to each municipality. Some of them have different school systems. So I'm doing Delta Township Grand Ledge Public Schools because that's the most popular one. That's just over 39 mills, and the average price for a home there is $350,000. So we'll take the $350,000 divided by 2, which is $175,000, and we'll times it by the mills at just over the 39 mills. So your average taxes would be just around just shy of $6,900, okay? So keep that in mind, just shy of $6,900 for the year, which is less than Dewitt Public Schools, even though it's a higher millage, but it's because the average price point is less. So $6,900 for Delta Township. Coming in at number 7 is Williamston Township, which has Williamston Community Schools. So for Williamston Community Schools, the average price of a home is $338,000. So again, we're gonna divide that by 2, and I'm gonna multiply it by the millage. The millage for Williamston Township is just shy of 43 mills. So the mills did go up, and that takes you to around $7,300 for taxes. So again, I want you to remember DeWitt Charter Township was at $404,000 for the average price point. This one is at $338,000, and this is only $400 shy of what DeWitt Charter Township is, even though the price point is less. Okay, so now you're gonna start seeing the discrepancy of what's a better value for your buck with the taxes, right? Again, just over $7,300 is what you can expect for your annual taxes in Williamston Township. Coming in at number 6, Grand Ledge City. So again, like I told you, there's St. Johns City, Grand Ledge City, that's gonna have a little bit of a higher tax mill. This is Grand Ledge City, Grand Ledge Public Schools. I'm bringing this up because same public schools as Delta Township, but Delta Township, the millage, there's about an 8 mil difference. I'm giving the exact same price point of the $350,000, dividing it by 2. The average price for a house is $350,000 divided by 2, and then we're going to times it by the millage, which is just shy of 48 mills. So your tax bill, a little over $8,300 if you're in the city of Grand Ledge. A little bit of a difference between what you have had in Delta Township, okay? More expensive to be able to be in the city as opposed to just outside of the city. Okay, number 5. Number 5 is Delhi Township. Delhi Township is located in Holt Public Schools, a majority of it, not all of them. So if you're in Holt Public Schools, your average price point in this area in Delhi Township, the average is $277,000. So not bad for the price point. So if we were to calculate the millage, that takes you to $138,000 for taxable value. And then the millage is quite high. It's 50.5 mills. Okay, so your taxes in Holt at a $277,000 average would take you to just shy of $7,000 for the year. So that $277,000 is far less than the $404,000 in DeWitt Charter Township, and you're paying just $700 a year more on a house that's worth a heck of a whole lot more. Okay, so again, it's good for you to have this perspective, right? To see what areas would be worth it. Next on the list, coming in at number 4 is Meridian Township. So Meridian Township has Okemos schools, Hazlitt schools, some parts of East Lansing might be in Meridian Township, but I'm gonna do Meridian Township, Okemos Public Schools. So it's 51.6 mills. The average price point in Okemos as of right now is $408,000. So that would mean the taxable value is $204,000, times it by the mills, which is just, like I said, just shy of 52 mills. So your taxes, and I've mentioned this many times when I've been trying to give you just an easy way to be able to calculate the taxes. The taxes in Meridian Township for the average price point is $10,500 for the entire year. Ain't cheap. And it's right there in line with Dewitt's almost. And Dewitt's was $7,700. This one is $10,500. So your property taxes, difference of about $3,000. You have to see if it would be worth it for you, if that $3,000 a year is worth it to you. Number 3, this one kind of surprised me a little bit, was Mason City. Mason City is located towards the southern part of Greater Lansing. It's actually south of Holt. So we talked about Holt schools, and that's in southern Lansing, and then just south of Holt is Mason, about another 20-25 minutes away from the center of Lansing. So if you were to look into Mason City with Mason Public Schools, the millage for this is 53.5 mils, and the average price point in Mason is around $300,000 for a house. So let's take the taxable value. Again, we divide it by 2, so that takes us to 150,000, times it by the mills at the 53.5. So if you find a house in the Mason City Public School and Mason Public School system, your taxes are going to be just over $8,000, just on a $300,000 house. Something for you to keep into perspective as you're looking at all the different areas. Number two is East Lansing City with East Lansing schools. Okay, so the average price in East Lansing is $358,000. So if I were to take that $358,000 divided by 2, that would take me to $179,000, and then we're going to multiply it by the millage, which the mills is just shy of 56 mils in East Lansing school system. So you guys, it's just shy of $10,000. Just shy of 10,000 bucks. And again, people ask me, what do you get for being in a city? I mean, some things that they have in East Lansing City are they take your leaves when they fall on the ground, and they have a sweeper that goes along the sidewalks. I mean, those are things that are included. But also you pay for the municipalities that are within downtown area. And because you're close to the city, those taxes help pay for some of those things. You also have in a city more things that need to be funded by the citizens, such as like the East Lansing Public Library. You have Michigan State University there. People, again, love being close to the university. So for some people that might not be a big deal, but you're going to spend more on the property taxes than you would at a place like even Dewitt or Okemos. The other thing to keep in mind with East Lansing City, and I mentioned this before in other videos, is that not only are you gonna have higher taxes, right now it's at the $99.70 for the year, but you're also gonna pay a 1% income tax if you live in the city. So you're also paying the income tax. Keep that in mind. That makes how much you're spending to live there a little bit more. And coming in at number 1, and this shouldn't be a huge surprise because I teased it earlier, is Lansing City. It does come in at number 17 in the entire nation. It's crazy to me. Just shy of 63 mils, so 62.6 mils is what this is. The average price in Lansing City for Lansing Public Schools is $184,000. So I'm gonna take this with $92,000 for the taxable value. And again, this is worst case scenario. There's good news and bad news. So the good news is that your taxes aren't that high because the average price in that area is far less than any other place. But the bad news is that when you look at how much your taxes are for that, it just adds a significant amount to your monthly payment. Because at $184,000, this is what a lot of people spend on a starter home. Your taxes in Lansing City on a $184,000 home could be $5,700 for the year. That's around $500 a month. That's a lot. And so as you're kind of thinking through some of these areas and maybe your first home, do you look in some suburban areas where the millage might go down? Do you look in other areas that might have cheaper millage? You know, those are all things for you to consider as you're considering a move here. Now, I promised you in the beginning, I would talk to you about the future of real estate taxes. So listen here because this is firsthand knowledge that just became public within the last couple weeks. So coming up here in Michigan in 2026, we are having a new governor for election. And so everyone's announcing their candidacy. One of the things that I find that keeps coming up from some of these candidates, one of the things has to do with the property taxes. They want to be able to make housing more affordable. So what some candidates have proposed, one candidate said, oh, I'm gonna completely get rid of property taxes. And that's not even possible, folks, okay? But some other candidates are saying is they are thinking about putting an end to the cap. The rule that I told you about earlier about, you know, that, hey, you can make the taxable value have no cap when a house is purchased, because that has put a lot of stress on new homeowners. They don't realize it. They might not have an agent that told them what they might be paying, or a loan officer that might have told them, hey, this is how much you could be paying. What happens with your mortgage payment as time goes on, I think everybody thinks that your mortgage payment stays the same. Well, if your taxes go up year upon year and your insurance goes up year upon year upon year, then your mortgage payment goes up each and every time too. And so there's a stress from that with these taxes going up. So they're trying to give some relief to people. And I do feel like in the economy we're in, I do think, again, I can't predict the future, but I would say I feel that the candidate who might get elected will bring up this issue about property taxes, make it something on their agenda to maybe get some votes, but hopefully in Congress, if Congress would allow it, that they could vote on the property taxes to get rid of this cap rule, because it's destroying a lot of people's just financial status. It's a lot. I mean, to have to pay $5,700 on a house that's only worth like $184,000. If these people were to go into Okemos and pay $400,000, their taxes would be $12,000 or $13,000 for the year. That's crazy. That's what I feel the future of property taxes will be. Stay tuned, because in about another year, year and a half, we'll have a new governor and we'll know. So again, I thank you so much for watching this channel, for watching this new episode. I hope that it was beneficial to you. I know that there was more data, but I think it helped you to be able to see in each area where you could focus on, what might be some areas you could look into to maybe save some money annually. And again, like just reiterating some of the things I've said in other videos about the, keeping in mind the income tax that you might get in some of these municipalities as well. So if you like the content of this video, I would have greatly appreciated a thumbs up. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I am continuing to come out with great content that is beneficial to all of you who are looking to potentially move here. Also, call me, text me, email me, schedule a Zoom anytime. All my contact information is in the description below. I would love to be able to help you on your real estate journey as well. So, folks, again, thanks again for watching, and until next time, make it a great day. Take care.